Hey guys, welcome to JayWalk Media. This is Matt Miller, and JD Vance sits down with CNN's Dana Bash for a interview, and little does he know, he's walking into a total ambush, and Dana Bash is ready to attack him with accusation after accusation, completely unfairly. Watch what JD Vance does in response, though. This is exactly how you need to respond to the left's gaslighting.
Before Donald Trump talked about eating dogs and cats on a debate stage, it was you, Senator, who first elevated this baseless rumor. These are your constituents. So why are you putting them at risk by continuing to spread claims about Haitian immigrants, despite officials in your state saying that there's no evidence and pleading for you to stop?
Well, Dana, first of all, what's putting the residents of Springfield at risk, which was a town completely ignored by the American media until Donald Trump and I started surfacing some of these concerns, is that they can't afford housing, they can't afford health care. The schools have been overwhelmed, the hospitals have been overwhelmed, and they're overwhelmed because Kamala Harris allowed 20,000 Haitian migrants to get dropped into a small Ohio town of about 40,000 people, and it's completely overwhelmed the services. Now, you ask, why have I talked about some of the things that I've been talking about? Let me just say this. My constituents have brought approximately a dozen separate concerns to me. 10 of them are verifiable and confirmable, and a couple of them I talk about because my constituents are telling me firsthand that they're seeing these things. So I have two options, Dana. I can ignore them, which is what the American media has done for years to this community, or I can actually talk about what people are telling me. And of course, many of the things that the media says are completely baseless have since been confirmed. For example, I was told, Dana, that by the American media, that it was baseless that migrants were capturing the geese from the local park pond and eating them. And yet there are 911 calls from well before this ever became a viral sensation of people complaining about that exact thing happening.
Senator, I have to go through several things that you just said. First of all, the Clark County Sheriff and the Ohio Department of Natural Resources reviewed 11 months of 911 calls. They only identified 2 instances of people alleging Haitians were taking geese out of parks. They found 0 evidence to substantiate those claims. Also, other evidence that you have talked about, even you've retweeted alleged evidence, are unsourced social media videos from a different city, apparently no connection to Haitians. And this is from a conservative activist who offered a $5,000 reward for such things. And then going just backly to the schools and the hospitals and so forth being overwhelmed, nobody is disputing that the town of Springfield, Ohio, needs help. But you're not just a bystander, you're the senator from Ohio. So instead of saying things that are wrong and actually causing the hospitals, the schools, the government buildings to be evacuated because of bomb threats, because of the cats and dogs thing, why not actually be constructive in helping to better integrate them into the community? Because there are a lot of employers there who say that the Haitian workers are helping fill jobs that they need desperately filled.
Dana, first of all, let me just respond to a couple of things that you said, but I want to start with something you said, which I think is frankly disgusting and is more appropriate for a Democratic propagandist than it is for an American journalist. There is nothing that I have said that has led to threats against these hospitals. These hospitals, the bomb threats and so forth, it's disgusting. The violence is disgusting. We condemn it. We condemn all violence.
Senator,
and
this
threats
happened
of violence.
after you and
But
President Trump were on the debate stage, said that cats and dogs were being eaten.
You asked a question, Dana, and I'm going to go ahead and answer it. What we have said is that this town has suffered terribly under the policies of Kamala Harris. Now, you just accused me of inciting violence against the community when all that I've done is surface the complaints of my constituents, people who are suffering because of Kamala Harris's policies. Are we not allowed to talk about these problems because some psychopaths are threatening violence? We can condemn the violence on the one hand, but also talk about the terrible consequences of Kamala Harris's open border on the other hand.
So JD Vance does an amazing job here, basically keeping Dana Bash on track and keeping her honest and not allowing her to drag his name and Donald Trump's name through the mud just for acknowledging the concerns of Springfield, Ohio. Now, JD Vance is the senator from Ohio, and these are his constituents directly. And all he's doing is listening to what they're telling him, listening to their concerns, which the media is brushing under the rug. Kamala Harris is mocking and brushing under the rug. And, they want to act as if there's no repercussions and no consequences to transplanting tens of thousands of people into a community that isn't prepared to deal with them. Of course, this is going to have consequences. Of course, this is going to ruffle feathers and be an issue for some people. And it's going to cause problems in the community. It's going to present a challenge because it's a massive change. Hey guys, I want to give a quick shout out to our amazing sponsor, Bonner Private Wines Partnership. Do you guys like drinking wine with dinner, but get tired of the overly sugary, mass-produced stuff that you find at the grocery store? Well, let me tell you about something different. Wines from extreme altitudes not only taste better, but are actually better for you. These wines come from up to 9,000 feet in the Andes Mountains of Argentina and are packed with polyphenols and antioxidants, compounds that are known to be good for your heart health and your overall health. What does that mean for you? Wines that are rich in flavor and pure without being full of chemicals and dyes that you'd find in generic wines. Imagine tasting smoky, bold-tasting wine in a bottle that is crafted in one of the most remote places in the world. The Bonner Private Wines Partnership makes it easy to get these rare wines. Right now, you can save $25 on your first order and get complimentary shipping. Just visit bonnerprivatewines.com/JayWalk to get started. This is a healthier, tastier wine experience you won't want to miss out on. Now let's get back to the video. So simply acknowledging those challenges and those concerns, they want you to feel like that is racism, like that is xenophobia, when in truth, if any group of people, if you took Russian people and took 20,000 of them and put them in some town in Japan or Mexico or wherever, tell me that that's not going to have a massive ripple effect in the local community, that's not going to have create issues and create people who are concerned about that. Of course it will. And we've seen examples of that. It seems to me that only Americans or only people in the West, in Western Europe, are not allowed to have any kind of apprehension towards unmitigated, unlimited migration to their community. This is a very real thing that's happening right now. Kamala Harris and the Biden administration are flying these migrants around to communities and finding them new homes in America. And they're not technically illegal migrants either at that point, because this policy is legally relocating these people to these communities. But for them to expect the local population to not have any sort of pushback here is so naive. Or maybe they just don't care. I think that they probably do anticipate pushback, but they're going to leverage that pushback and try to paint a picture of middle America and like ordinary Americans being racist or anti-foreigner just for being concerned about their community. And look, buzzwords aside, talking points aside, it is normal and natural to be protective of your community. And when 10,000 people show up at your doorstep, that you're allowed to be taken aback by that. You're allowed to be surprised and concerned about what this new change could mean, right? And if these people happen to have different customs and they eat ducks out of the park because in the country that they come from, they could just grab ducks in the wild and eat them, or even cats or whatever it is, you're allowed to have a reaction to that. Anyway, enough of the gaslighting from CNN and the rest of the media and the Democrats. We've had enough of it, and we're not going to be gaslighted anymore. We're not going to be shamed into ignoring these things, ignoring these real problems that Americans are dealing with. And JD Vance did a great job being brave here and standing up to CNN and their ambush attack. So let me know what you guys thought of this clip in the comments. If you liked the video, please leave a like and subscribe to the channel and ring the notification bell so you get notified when we post new content. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.